Welcome back to another episode of Grit to Glow. I'm Naomi, your host, founder of Desert Lux Creative Agency, mama, wife, and all of the things. Where are all that's really? So today's episode is for the woman who is already digging deep, who is in her business. You have built the business of your dreams. You've invested, you've been in the rooms, you've had the 10, 20, 50K cash months and all the peaks and valleys in between them. And you're not a beginner, but yet right now what you're experiencing is something still feels off in your business. So I want to welcome you into a conversation today that I'm calling the 7-figure brand upgrade. We're really going to go through the 5 shifts that high-level CEOs make to scale without adding more to their plate. So let's dive in, okay? So you've hired 6, 7, or even 8-figure mentors. You've joined high ticket masterminds. And if you're listening to this, you and I both know that while you don't regret it, a part of you can't help but feel like, did I really get what I needed out of this? See, the strategy is fine and the frameworks make sense, but oftentimes they're not the thing. They don't get to the root. And what I hear most often from my clients is this: things like, I've done all the things and I'm still not getting the results that I know I'm capable of. And I realize now that I was outsourcing power in ways I didn't actually need. So if this sounds familiar to you, then today's conversation means you're in exactly the right place. So I want to ask you this: what if I told you that the real problem isn't actually your offer? It's not even your effort. It's not your mindset. It's not your consistency. And it's not even your sales process. So often, the real problem is that your brand hasn't actually caught up to your brilliance yet. As you scale, right? Your presence isn't matching your power, or maybe your business infrastructure was built on survival, not on scalability. Okay, so we're going to dive into more of this conversation because today's training isn't really about teaching you something new to do. It's really about helping you finally name what's actually keeping you stuck and then showing you how to shift it fast. Okay, so let's dive into the 5 brand upgrades that are going to change everything for you. So, number 1 is the visibility shift. This is where most high level women that I see stay stuck the longest. You've got the receipts, you've got the proof of concept, you've got the results for your clients and the track record, but people aren't seeing you the way that you know that they should. This isn't really even a visibility issue, okay? This is a brand resonance issue and your visual presence. So things like your content, your positioning, your energy, maybe they still feel like a past version of you. So you're posting content and not feeling like super excited about it. Maybe you're even seeing your friends and your mentors posting content from that latest, greatest photo shoot that they did, right? And you're still stuck in like a look what I do mode instead of this is who I be. At this level, visibility isn't about showing up more, it's about showing up differently. So things like authority led content, aesthetics that signal premium before you even open your mouth, and a brand experience that whispers she's the one are what you need. Your people don't need more, they just need clarity. Okay. And that starts with the deeper root of like how you're being seen. So, shift number 2 is the messaging shift. And this shift is really about like, if your content still sounds like a pitch or an explanation, if you're still telling people what you do instead of transmitting who you are, then your messaging is keeping you small. At 6 figures, we write content to convert, right? At 7 figures, you are now speaking to activate. The right words don't just describe your offer. They don't just talk about what you get when you buy. They call in the woman that your work is made for, that feels a soul connection to your legacy, your impact, the deeper meaning behind your business. You see, at this level, your ideal client doesn't want a play by play of what's included. She wants to feel herself in your brand. She wants to see that you understand where she is and how to get her to where she wants to be, that you are different, that you're not some copy paste coach on the internet just doing the same thing as everyone else, but that you can truly lead and guide her to where she wants to be, regardless of what that dream is. Messaging at this level isn't cute, it's not clever, and it's not complicated, right? It's bold, it's intentional, it's precise, and it reflects the you that has already arrived. So, really, my call out here is that you don't need a better call to action in your content. You just need to create the deeper connection with your people, and that starts with your messaging. Okay, shift number 3. Let's talk about your offers. So, your offers are probably amazing and your clients get real results inside of them and maybe even know that it's worth every dollar, right? But if you find yourself having to explain things every time that you sell, if you find yourself feeling detached from selling certain offers, even because you know deep down that you can go deeper with the clients, you can get them even bigger results, and you're not necessarily proud of the results that they're having because you actually foresee yourself being in a much, much deeper, closer proximity or impactful offer, right? It doesn't have to be proximity. It could just be the fact that you want to be getting your clients even deeper results. That's a brand architecture issue. So at this level, the thing is, women don't just buy features. And we said that earlier, but it's like that has to be reiterated because at this level of six, multi six, seven, eight figures in business, women are buying identity alignment. They're buying resonance. And your offer isn't just a product for people anymore, it's a portal. So I want to ask you this: is your offer currently packaged in a way, or offers in a way, that instantly signals value? And do the containers that you have embody your magic, or are they just outlining frameworks and logistics? And lastly, are you positioning yourself like a category of one experience for your buyers? Because if not, no wonder you feel like you're constantly launching, right? This is the rework that we do inside of Desert Lux Creative through my team, because really it's about making sales become easier. And it's not just because we change the offers, but we change how you feel connected to them, which makes it, one, easier for you to sell, and two, it changes how it's perceived by your audience. And when you embody your work, oh, you guys, different level of frequency. So, shift 4 is your brand presence shift. And I know this one's going to hit for so many of you because you're charging 5K, 10K, and even 20K plus for an investment, but your visuals, your brand, your feed still look like you spent time in Canva late at night between client calls making them. Okay. And if you're building $1 million brand, it can't look like a DIY project. You need to be intentional about your marketing. If you want to be seen as premium, your brand needs to reflect that precision. So people don't buy based on what's possible from you, even though they like that. They buy what's proven. Now, if there's a disconnect between how you show up visually and how you deliver results, your clients are going to feel it, even if they can't necessarily name it. And I tell this story quite a bit, but I'm going to tell it again in case you haven't heard it. I follow a 7-figure business mentor on Instagram, and I think the world of her, even still, okay? And I think her work is so incredible that she does. She's very niche specific, and she is such a leader who has created and innovated so many programs, and I've taken some of them myself. But the thing that I know about her is I was scrolling her stories one day and I was like, oh my gosh, this offer is amazing. What a juicy offer. I get to the last page and it's an $11 offer with a call to action to buy. And at the top, it is a banner that is supposed to be marketing the offer. And it's literally just a plain background with not even that fancy of text, right? Not even on brand font, and a picture of her that just had the background removed. It was the most basic, simple DIY banner. And I don't know whether or not she outsources or if she's the one that created that, but I'm like, you run a 7-figure brand. It's time to clean it up. Like, what is important as you scale is aligning your brand identity with your pricing, your positioning, and your energetic standard. And that also includes brand presence and visuals. This is when you suddenly stop being overlooked. Like, $11 wouldn't have broken the bank, and I'm sure I would have gotten my ROI and then some from that space. But I couldn't bring myself to invest in a mentor in her offer where the visuals weren't even thought of. Like, the visual was not a priority. And so it's like, to me, the way that I buy is that directly translates into there isn't as much intentionality around this offer as what it deserves. And if you are looking, even if it's an $11 offer, if you are looking to then convert those buyers into a 4, 5, or 6-figure investment, like, every ounce of the work needs to be intentional. Okay. So, shift number 5, let's dive into the scaling shift because this is the one I'm willing to bet that you didn't know you needed until you're burnt out and wondering why all of the strategy still hasn't given you your freedom back. So, let's just call it what it is. You right now have built a business around your genius, right? And you're still doing everything yourself, or maybe you have a team, but maybe you still find yourself being the one who's delegating and assigning tasks, and it's like that person is a doer of tasks. They're checking boxes. So you're still in your content. You're still the glue that holds everything together. And without you, things would likely fall apart, right? I want to give you a wake up call. Okay. If you have a goal of a 7-figure business, whether it's today or whether it's like someday in the future and you're not attached to the outcome or timeline, I want you to know this. That is not a scalable way to run a business. That is just a glorified cage you're putting yourself in. Okay. Scaling isn't just about hiring team, and it's not just about building a funnel either. Those are all things that work, yes. But creating a brand ecosystem that runs without you constantly feeding it is everything. So, what does this look like? One, you got to have systems and content that sell without you pushing, right? And even if you're a master in this, in content, the systems behind it, like, how are you converting those people on the back end? Are you the one who's still manually sending links in your inbox when people inquire? Because if you have 50, 100, 200 people inquire about an offer tomorrow, are you going to be the one in your inbox sending 200 pay links for them to check out with? I mean, come on. At some point, something's got to give. The second part of this is like, you've got to have messaging that builds authority in the background. So everything matters. You can have the most incredible messaging on your checkout page, but you are literally losing sales if not every offer you put up has an upsell with a great checkout page. If not every offer that you put up has a confirmation page with another upsell, your brand should be slathered. It should be everywhere. And you should also have, this is part 3 of this, a visual identity that magnetizes while you rest. Okay, so as people are going in and buying, it's like clockwork. The links are being sent, there's automations in place, the upsells in their face, like, the branding is legit, beautiful, it flows, and they're like, heck yeah, I want to buy the $22 upgrade to your $11 offer. You just 3x your excuse me, you just 3x your income from one $11 offer, when if you wouldn't have done that, you would have made 11 on every, ticket that comes through versus 33. Come on, you guys. Like, this is the work that we do. It's about giving you your brand back and your life and your freedom back. And it's not about like, oh, I want to be detached from the work and just have a business that runs on autopilot. If you're here listening to this and you dream of a legacy business, I know it's not about that for you. I know it's not about being detached from the work and that you want to be deeper with your clients. And so allow those systems to work for you so that you have more capacity to be deeper with your clients, right? So if this training today hit you in the gut, if you're sitting here realizing like, yes, this is what I've been missing, I want you to know you're not crazy and you're not behind. You are just overdue. You're overdue for a brand that matches the level of woman that you have become and the level of woman that you are continuing to evolve into, because truly, you've already arrived. That deserves like a massive pat on the back and celebration. Your work is already brilliant. Now, the brand just needs to rise up and meet you where you are and where you're going. Inside my agency, Desert Lux Creative, we help high level women just like you with building brands. Our goal is to sell before you launch, to position you as the only choice, and to scale your income without scaling your output. Okay. So if you are ready for that and you want to chat more about ways to work with me through my agency and my team, you can click the link in my bio to apply to work together, or you can shoot me a DM with the word Lux on Instagram at Desert Lux Creative. And I would love to dig deeper and explore what your brand's next era could really look like. Because truth be told, I know and you don't need another surface level mentor. You actually don't even need a mentor that you think will go deeper than surface level. What you need is a creative partner who helps you build the containers for your next level. This is that container. This is the work. So reach out. Let's build the brand that matches that vision. And you should be so proud of everything that you're doing. I'll see you next time.